to India's first Metaverse, brought to you by WoWExp. And today it is indeed my honor and privilege to be joined by researcher, innovator, the perfectionist, Yashraj Bhardwaj, who has been cited by Forbes as one of the most influential people in India under 30. Such a pleasure to have you here with us, Yashraj.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nidhi.
And talking about your journey and the immense struggle that both the brothers, Yashraj and Yuvraj Bhardwaj, have gone through, how does it feel today when you look back at, say, being a 14-year-old? Take us through that period.
Yeah, so I think, so by the way, I'm Yashraj Bhardwaj and I'm 23 years old right now. My journey, and specifically my journey, is not at all complete, or I would say it's totally incomplete with one person, without one person, that is Yuvraj, and my identical twin brother, who is 5 minutes elder to me. So Yuvraj is basically, I would say, as an elder brother, a father-like figure for me, was somebody that who got me and him both involved into something that we're doing right now and made our life really interesting and exciting. Growing up and being kids, we used to play cricket, and we played a lot of tournaments, a lot of matches, and I think every kid in India really aspires to become a cricketer. I still do. But at the same time, when you come from a family which is, let's say, just making its own needs and just not doing that well, you really tend your parents, and I would say that parents are not at all wrong anywhere, and I think it's all my parents' thinking and it's all their thought process that I'm sitting right now with you and talking about my life. My parents, they were both school teachers, and they both wanted us to focus on something which could give us stability in life. And as parents, they were thinking absolutely right, because in cricket, no matter how good you are, end of the day, it's only 11 people who are going to make it in the field. So it's pretty tough. It's really hard.
But you did try cricket at a very young stage. Both of you used to go to a cricket academy.
Oh yeah, we did. So
and, that was how long? And your father happens to be a swimming
yes,
champion of India. So how long did you continue this pursuit of cricket before you decided to just give it a start?
So we played cricket for, I think, around 4 or 5 years. When we were, I think, around 13 years old, that's when my dad told us specifically, because that was a moment we were deciding in our life, either to go left or right, either to go into academics or either to go into sports fully. Because whatever you do, you need full dedication to it, and without it, it's not possible. So at that moment, my parents really wanted us to focus on studies so that we at least could have a stable life, lead to a stable life, become a civil services officer, become something, doctor or engineer. So we did that, and we listened to our parents. I will never say that it was a wrong decision.
When you stopped going to play cricket, however, if you look back.
Exactly, because I'll tell you, when you love something immensely and you got several reasons in your life that you are not able to do it, it really hurts you bad. And that's what happened with me and my brother. To be honest with you, that was something that led me and my brother to start doing something so that we can make money. So when I say that my journey started in terms of becoming an entrepreneur, the first problem statement was very clear in both of our mind, that we were and we are and we will be firm believers in capitalism, and we wanted to focus on how can we kind of come out of this situation. At the same time, we were really passionate into sciences, and my brother, of course, Yuv was extremely good in astrophysics and mathematics. So that was something that was his passion. Every Sunday, there is a book market that takes place, Daryaganj, and wherein you can actually go and buy second-hand books at basically per kilogram basis. So people there, they don't really know what they're selling. Exactly. So every Sunday, my dad used to take us there. So that was our Sunday outing for the week. We used to go in the morning, 7 a.m., get bunch of books, bring those books back home and just read them throughout. So we have this reading habit since childhood, that we are really, we love reading, we love getting to know new things. Our focus is always science fictions or sciences.
So science fiction to science technology, Yashraj. And going and spamming a lot of people from the National Geographic to Discovery to all of that. I mean, nothing has been easy. I also heard that you had been asked for a cost for patenting, and also that you took a waiver from your school.
Yeah.
How did you do that? So that you can inspire so many others.
Exactly. So what happened then that time, Nidhi, was that when we were doing these studies, let's say if you ask a young student to read about quantum mechanics, and we wanted to read that, you will have hundreds and hundreds of doubts. And unfortunately, we did not have any kind of a platform which exists right now in the education system to go out and ask these kind of questions. At that time, we used to watch a lot of science fictions and a lot of science shows like National Geographic. We used to watch cartoons like Doraemon, Jetsons. So the importance of science fiction was very big in our lives, because science fictions lead to great ideas, great hunger. It gives you a space that exists in the market. So if I was seeing a technology which was out of the box and which I think is impossible, that gives you an idea or a place to work upon and to make it big. So that was a thought process. Now coming to the science shows, these shows were something that we were really interested. They would clear half of our doubts, but still we were actually struggling. So Yuvraj, my brother, he comes up with a very interesting idea of taking out email IDs, Skype numbers, phone numbers of all those professors whose books we are reading, and all those people who are coming on those shows. We started spamming them, legit. I mean, we would ask them hundreds and hundreds of questions. We will tell them that, okay, this is where we belong. We don't have money to fly down to that place, but specifically, I just need these doubts to be cleared. Initially, we were not getting any response. But what happens is that when you are persistent and when you follow something for a couple of months, you get some kind of knowledge in that domain. And then our doubts started making some sense. So that was a moment we started getting replies from people and all of that. But still, there were few people who were not replying us. So then my brother Yuvraj comes up with another great idea of making fake IDs of beautiful girls on Facebook. Now what we did was that we used to literally send these professors and these people doubts using these fake IDs, and literally started asking our doubts that way. I mean, I will not recommend anybody. I'm giving a disclaimer in advance to not to do it. But unfortunately, we had no other way, and we were just like really kids. So, and I am sorry we did that. But anyway, so this was a very interesting part of the journey, and we were clearing our doubts. At that moment itself, we came up with a research paper that how can you technically make a nucleon to travel time. And it was a review paper that we wrote. That got published and it got us a great applaud. We worked on a couple of scientific projects. So at that time, there was this news channel IBN7. They came home and they did a nice big interview, and they wanted to tell our story to people, which really led to a lot of further developments. That we got our first job right after that at Science Museum. So Science Museum started its National Innovation Lab at that time, wherein they were hiring Research A and Research B category scholars. For 4 hours, these scholars every day used to tell other people that what is there in the Science Museum, like basically the guides for the visitors. And the 4 hours you will get lab access free of cost, wherein you can do research, you can experiment things, you can build up your case studies and all that. So, and we used to get 1,500 rupees a month as a stipend. So 1,500 rupees a month for 6th, 7th class students is absolutely a great amount. I mean, you don't need anything else, right? So we did that, and it could also arrange a plate of chole kulche for you outside the campus. So DTC pass for you. So it was a interesting life that we live in. At that moment, we actually also went back to the school that we were in that time, and we told them that we really want to study more.
This is something really interesting.
Yes, we want to study more, but unfortunately, coming to school and blocking my 8 to 10 hours a day, it just doesn't make any sense for me. So why don't we only appear for exams? And we want a certain attendance off so that I can focus on my independent research. The way we convinced that, because a lot of media channels,
for a fee waiver.
Exactly. So a lot of media channels were featuring us, and everybody was writing on us, and we said, okay, we'll write your name next to ours. We said, okay, we want to come to the school to give exams because we want to really do well. My mom had this one thing that you have to be toppers and you have to do well in exams. So I said, okay, we'll take care of that. But other than this, I didn't really want to attend the school, and especially my brother as well. So we went to the school. We said, okay, and any media channel who is featuring us, we want to put your name next to us, get a recognition to school as well. But what we need in return is that you need to give us our attendance off, that we don't need to come to school anymore. We'll come for exams and we'll make sure that we do well. And second is we want a fee waiver, because from 6th, 7th class onwards, we really didn't want to depend on our parents. I mean, a parent, especially Indian parents, they're too sensitive. They work their complete life, and they like my parents have devoted their complete youth to my life. So they both have struggled, they both have worked hard. So if I sit on this chair right now and I tell you that I've struggled a lot in my life, I'm just lying, because my journey is just 8 years. But my journey never started when I was 12 or 13. It started when I was born. And that time, it's the time that I invested, double of that time has been invested by my parents. So we never really wanted to be a burden on them. And we said, okay, we want to do it on our own. Fortunately, the school agreed. We got our first office space in the bio lab with a Neel Kamal table and chair. And we started picking up different projects. We used to do these, science projects. We used to make models for kids in the summer vacations. We used to do their holiday homework. So in one season, if we make 5,000 to 6,000, that's a decent amount for us. And while doing this, we used to do our independent research. So we came up finally with one research paper in which we were using pumpkin, kaddu, to basically extract and mine heavy metals out of the water. What happens in water pollution basically is that water pollution is basically because of two reasons. One is that presence of heavy metal inside the water. Second is presence of basic dyes. Now these dyes and other particles can be removed very easily. But what is the biggest problem is that the presence of heavy metals is a big issue. Because if I talk about metals like lead, it accumulates into fatty tissues of your body and causes cancer. If I talk about chromium, it causes another disease. If I talk about arsenic, it causes discoloration of skin. So we did a case study that we tested water. We did sampling of water at River Ganga. At Rishikesh, there was around, I think, 2.6 ppm particulate per matter concentration of lead in 100 ml of water, River Ganga. When I come to Haridwar, Har Ki Pauri, it was 22.6 ppm of lead per 100 ml of the water. And when I talk about Sundarban, which is Bay of Bengal, the lead concentration shoots up to 236 ppm per 100 ml of the water. It's technically the poison. So we said, okay, this is a big challenge. And at that time, Sony launched its PlayStation 4 into the market, which was a big hit. So we wanted a gaming console for ourselves. So we said, okay, we'll focus on that. And I think within 2 years, we came up with this project that we were using pumpkin to purify and extract metals from the water. So what it does is that every plant, 140 species in plant, according to us, have phospholipids and as a concentration which really absorbs the heavy metals on the surface of the particle. So for example, if I'm using kaddu and I add it to the water, the lipids present in the kaddu, they absorb, it's a surface phenomena, the heavy metal on the water and settles down.
The white kaddu, the petha, or the yellow one?
The yellow one.
And you just put it...
No, so you dry it first. You make a coarse powder out of it, because to increase the surface area. And then you put it in the water. So it absorbs the heavy metal and it settles down.
Why I'm asking is there are several people who do not have access to drinking water in this country. In the rural area, who are forced to drink lead infested water and get these kind of diseases. So is there a way where...
I mean, we did last year we were the youngest Indians and actually the only project that got represented at London Design Biennale in UK. Wherein we showcased. So it was not pumpkin, it was something else. But I'm coming to the story right now. So what happened with pumpkin was then we were able to remove metals with 78% efficiency, which is pretty good. And the moment this project got ready, we went to the market and we would go to every science fair that had a cash prize because we wanted money to sustain ourselves and to do more research. And we were literally winners in nearly every fair we participated, every event we went, and we made a capital of I think 35 lakhs that time in just cash prizes. So what happens is that's when the biggest lesson of our life started. The moment you make first money in your life, you go on the cloud nine. You want to eat the most expensive food. You want to wear the most expensive clothes. You go along with brands. If I was spending 10 rupees on something in my research before, I would spend 1,000 rupees right now. I want to sponsor my friends in my school canteen and want to do all of that. We were literally wasting money. In 6 months, we burned the whole money. We burned it down. At the same time, we got an offer from this company in Bangalore, which approached us and which said it's a US company and they wanted us to give our project, license our project to them. So they flew us to Bangalore, we gave presentations 3 days, and they came back to us. They said, okay, we'll give you 3.5 crores a year. So how the patent business works is that if you have a patent on anything, you can license it for 20 years and every year you will get a royalty. So they approached us and they said, we're happy to take it. We'll give you 3.5 crores a year. Now you give this project to us. Now, if you offer 3.5 crore to a bunch of 2 kids who have not seen so much amount of money, I think we were 15 that time. So who have not seen so much of money at one go, you will be like, okay, that's just fine, right? Now, the biggest setback that happened that time was that give us your patent documents. Now, till that moment, we both had no clue what a patent is. So we came back, we approached the patent lawyers, and first thing that they said was that, okay, generally we charge 2.5 lakhs. You're just really smart kids, so we'll charge you 1.5 lakhs, which we didn't have. We burned the whole money. And the second thing that they told us that, so in India, it's a law that if you want to get a patent on anything, the literature of your patent should not be existing in any patented or any non-patented literature. Because of our stupidity of uploading it everywhere, going everywhere, without filing the patent first, it was all over the internet. So technically, there is no way that we can prove the novelty of the project. Now, this was a setback because, it's something that you're hungry and somebody is giving you the food, and the moment you open your mouth, they take the spoon back. We went back to home. We were just 2 months, we didn't do anything. We were like, it's finished. Now again, the credit goes to parents because if nobody is helping you, your parents help you. And they said, you guys are smart, you can do this, do that. And we said, okay, let's do it. Sometimes when you're on the path of a success, what we do is we deviate on the shorter successes. Success is like a tree. It has shorter branches also. The problem is that if the root deviates the water droplet to the shortest branch, it doesn't reach the top. And that's the end of the journey. So we said, okay, let's do one thing. Whenever we do a research, there is a protocol that we follow, that we need to complete this research and then we will conclude. Pumpkin was so good that we concluded it in between. So we said, okay, let's finish this complete protocol first and then we'll do something else in our life. So we did that. Within 2 months, we came up with a project that we were using bajra, pearl millet, to purify the water. Now, pumpkin was 78% efficient. Bajra was 98.6% efficient in taking out metal. It was 10 times cheaper than pumpkin. So this was another interesting project that we made, and we said, yeah. So we approached. So there are 4 patent offices in India. The North region, because I'm from Delhi, the patent for area for the North region lies in Dwarka. So we went to Dwarka and we told the administration there, they were really helpful, that we are, we come from this kind of background. We don't have money, but how do I file a patent? Because I've got an interesting project. So they taught us that how can I be my own representative without hiring a lawyer and file a patent? And I was literally standing in the same queue where the lawyers stand. By spending 9,000 rupees, which we took as a loan from my dad, we filed our first patent, and that got published. And eventually that deal happened, and we won a lot of fellowships, a lot of grants.
Then you got that
yes. So
from the US.
yes. So this project became something which really made a lot of things possible for us. Now, the moment we started making money, we started developing more projects. So till now, me and Yuvraj, we have around 15 patent applications that we have filed in a team. We worked on like around 35 to 38 interesting research projects. We still do. We started hiring people like us because we wanted to now do research for other companies, other countries, and we typically ended up starting a research consulting firm wherein we would work with different companies, corporates. We would tell them, okay, you can use this tech stack, you can use this technology, you can use this thing, because there is a big gap in the market. Big research, Fortune 500 companies have their own R&D facilities. But what about the upscaling SMEs? There is no R&D facility for them. Now, all across the world, there is a big market of grassroots researchers also. Independent researchers who are not qualified, but they have interesting projects, interesting patents. So we wanted to bridge that gap in the market and make money. We said, okay, if you are a grassroots researcher, you don't know what to do, you come to my company, I'll sell your technology. And that's how we started this research consulting firm, and we focused, and we went to Dubai, we went to Hong Kong, China, Singapore, Bangladesh. We've just opened our office in California, and for 3 years, I'm also a visiting scholar at UC Berkeley. I teach and mentor MBA students at Haas School of Business. I'm also on the board of 2 centers at Haas, wherein I'm advising Berkeley about their initiatives in India. With this, I also got appointed as one of the board member at Berkeley Niti Aayog Industry Advisory Council, and also at National Innovation and Startup Policy of Ministry of Education, Government of India. Other than this, you have said all of it. So we got Karamveer Chakra in 2017. We have been
nominated for the Padma Shri.
Yes, for 2 years we were there.
You'll get it very soon because
Let's
you
hope
have a long way to go. You did something like, to my mind, what I'd say, Alexa, switch on the lights. So there's some kind of a brain,
yeah. So it's an interesting project that we worked on, and the patent that we filed, it's called brain-computer interface, that you can really do something whatever you think. So for example, if you want to switch on a light, you just have to think about switching it on. That was something that we developed, and we have a patent on that, and we have a live prototype in my office as we speak. Another few interesting projects that we worked on, and something which is very close to my heart, is this all-in-one medical assistant machine that we made. So
we must talk about this, but inside the virtual set, where I'm going to take you to your digital avatar. This is what India's first metaverse is. You're going to be enthralled inside. So viewers, let's take Yashraj and all of us join me in welcoming him to India's first metaverse inside the set.
Yeah.
So Yashraj, that's your digital avatar in front of me in India's first metaverse. How does it feel, this whole set, resetting the jewel of the crown, Atmanirbhar Bharat, both the brothers, beautiful pictures and blazers. How do you feel?
Well, I'm telling you, this is something very, very unique, very interesting. The way the team has put it up all across the walls is just amazing. I can't believe, this is like far, far above from my expectations. So this is absolutely interesting. I'm a fan of virtual reality. I use Meta for my gaming, my workout, but I never knew this could be used for something.
And what a fitting tribute to Atmanirbhar Bharat, because I think this team of IIT Kanpur and IIM Lucknow have hats off to them, really.
Absolutely.
For creating the most amazing sets for everybody, and coming out with the first of these series of the Metaverse programs in the world. So my next question to you is, Yashraj, tell me, what motivated you to kind of have patents in drones, and you've come up with something in eco-angiography, which is a small kind of a device which can help millions.
Yeah. So there is a very interesting story, and a project which is very close to my heart is, as I was speaking, is my all-in-one medical assisted machine. Of course, again, the credit of that also goes to my brother. The credit of everything that I do goes to him, because he's like that motivating factor in my life and gives me all the opportunities to work on interesting things. But in 2015, I lost my grandfather on the day of Choti Diwali because of cardiac arrest. The biggest problem that we saw that time is that, me and my brother, we used to sit with him every day in the evening, and we gave him some milk, and then we went to our room. We got a call from him, I think in next 35-40 minutes, that he's feeling some congestion. And we just thought that this might be a gastric issue because there was no availability of anything that we could test there, and right. So everything just goes, if you're having some kind of stomach ache, you feel, oh, it's a gastric issue. So he was having a lot of pain. We eventually, for 25 to 30 minutes, he was just walking constantly and he was having a lot of pain. We thought it's just a gastric issue. He must have eaten something bad and that's why it is happening. And at the same time, again, right after that moment, it started getting bad. We took him to the hospital, but unfortunately, he was no more because we got late. Now, this was something that I would say was the biggest setback in my life, because when I told you that the first TV interview of me and Yuvraj, which was about to be telecasted the next week, and my grandfather was calling every relative, he was calling everybody and telling them that, okay, my grandsons are going to be on television. And he couldn't even see that. He didn't see anything. So that was the moment that we realized that how many people in India, especially in the rural parts of India, who are not accessible for preventive healthcare modules, how many people like that would be suffering, and what is the risk attached to their life? And it's just impromptu. So me and my brother, we started researching and working on a prototype, and we developed a machine which is a very small, a palm-sized machine, and can do basic medical tests like your ECG, your QRS, QTC, perfusion index, heart rate, your body temperature, everything. It's a small palm-sized machine, and with a single charge, it operates for 30 days. The reason to do something like this was that to make basic medical test, basic parameter testing accessible for rural parts of India, of the country, and also digitized. So every testing that this machine does, there is a electronic report that gets formed, and that digitized report can be shared with the doctor right away using this device. So it really helps people to get time, and we did testings. Cleveland clinics in Ohio actually subscribed for the testings, which is still right now going. It's a US FDA approved machine that we have, and the purpose of this project is not really to make any money. It's just to serve the humanity, because I think
drones. How did you get into the aviation space? You need to have a lot of scientific know-how to be able to use drone technology.
Yeah, so when we started our career, we were always passionate about sciences as we speak, and if you talk about coding, robotics was something that has been always of our passionate, and especially my brother Yuvraj. Like, my core was always biology and mathematics, but Yuv was always into something that has to do with robotics and coding, and we actually started working on interesting robotic drone projects that moment, because it was a big drone revolution coming up, and we said, okay, how can we do it? Because in India, to scale anything, your project should be cost effective. That's a first differential. See, India is a market of masses. It is not a market of class, that you serve the 1%. You have to have a greater market share. You have to serve the bigger audience. To make it servable for the bigger audience, it has to be cost effective. So that's what we were doing. And when we talk about projects like drones, we made a drone which was, which you could use for irrigation. We made a drone which was a bomb diffuser robo. And the sole intent of working these technologies was something that how can we make these technologies accessible in terms of costings for the general audience. And that was something, an interesting part of our life, yes.
And tell me now, this pivot from the mobile to the desktop, this pivot now from the usual, or just from the 2D, 3D space to the space of meta. How do you see that furthering businesses, real estate?
See, I'll tell you,
hospitality.
I think this shift was already on its way, but the 2 or 3 years of the COVID that we had,
Yes.
really accelerated the growth of technology across the world and adaptability of technology as we speak. Right now, even coming out of the COVID situation, everybody, like if I talk about myself, I'm running 60% of my meetings online still. And it is not something that I'm doing it out of pain. I'm doing it out of fun because it is much more easy for me. I mean, I don't have to travel. I can spend time with my family, and yet I can work at the same time. So I think now going forward, technology is all about that. How much people's life can be brought down to the digital world rather than the individual world. So the connectivity that we were aiming as humans, that core values of human system, of a human existence, wherein humans always got along in person, physically, to create moments, to create infra, to create livelihood, to create capitalism, to create socialist ethics. How can that be converted into a digital world? How can it be shifted to a digital world where the proximity of a human to talk to another human, if it's your daughter, if it's your son, if it's your father, grandfather, grandmother, if it's your friends, if it's your employees in the digital world, and how can you still be connected to them? So I think that's an interesting shift coming in the human nature.
Let me tell you, Yashraj, you can have, this is the grandfather of Zoom, so as to say, and instead of having conferences on Zoom, people are going to move into a meta space where you can speak to all your colleagues in the same room and even write on a whiteboard or a blackboard or something like that, put your notes, and these are called WoWExp. And on that note, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
In all your success at Petonic. May you move from strength to strength.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you for sparing your precious time and for all your insights that you've shared with us. Tremendous journey, phenomenal experience, and a lot of applause. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. From the entire team of India's first Metaverse, from the real to the virtual, and the founder and CEO, Naveen, I extend my heartfelt gratitude and thank you to you, Yashraj.
Thank you so much.